Hey, welcome back for another week and another episode of the corporate contract episode series, whatever we want to call it. But essentially, every week, Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, we are here talking all things corporate contracts, how to get them, how to keep them, what to consider and think about, and why this is such an important stage to take as a business owner in creating the foundation for your legacy and for your company. And so each week I have some topic that's going on, likely, you probably just heard the doorbell ring, that's going on in either my private clients, in my own pursuit of contracts, or even just thinking about my past experiences that can help you all unlock something and get moving. These lives are really meant to illuminate something in you so that you can continue the progress towards landing contracts yourselves. Okay. So, with that being said, if you haven't met me before, my name is Kirsten Allen. I'm a corporate contract strategist, fancy name for helping brilliant women in business earn more and increase their impact by landing corporate contracts. And so today we are going to talk about how to turn a no into a contract win. And so earlier yesterday, I posted on, okay, we have someone in here that is, we'll get rid of that. Yesterday, I made a post talking about some of the losses that I've taken along this journey. So, really wanted to start letting you guys into the fact that everything is not always rainbows. And so, I thought this topic would be apropos because turning no's into wins is really the key to success. It's getting back up again, trying again, and not letting that first bit of friction take you out of the game. And so I have a few examples that I'll sprinkle in throughout today's live with clients and with things that I've seen, because this is important. This time right now is the time to start landing some of these contracts. Companies are getting to their year end. They have set aside funds. I did a post on this earlier today, just talking about the US government alone, but so many different organizations have set aside funds for women owned businesses. Yes. Also small businesses, which is all of us here, right? We're all under that. I believe it's like $25 million threshold, something to that effect. And so funds are being set aside to do business with our organizations. And what I'm hearing more often than not, as I'm in these conversations with decision makers, is they don't know who to reach out to, or particular businesses don't have the things that they need in order to be prepared. It's a matter most times of paperwork. As I said in my post, a lot of times people are trying to figure out, oh, how do I get in? What do I say? All the things. And we got to make sure our foundation is solid first and foremost, because that is what gets us in the room. The funds have already been set aside. This government has taken tax dollars, especially in the US, and set them aside to do business with these organizations. We need to make sure that we're positioned to do that, right? The value in not only just getting the contract dollars, because I think it's deeper than just, hey, I got this multi six figure or multi five figure contract or whatever it looks like for you. That's great. But just the access that you get to experience when you're in these spaces can go way beyond just landing that initial contract. This gives you opportunity to build a business that has a foundation to where you have multi-year contracts that you can depend on for the next 5 years out. If we're talking about forecasting, imagine being able to forecast a corporate or a government contract into the next few years. Then you're able to pour into your business in a different way, and you're able to show up to now where you can expand your team. You can continue to serve in other areas because you have a good foundation going into this corporate space and business. And not just corporate, government, universities, y'all know how we get down, schools. I'm actually going to a vendor showcase next week for the Atlanta Public Schools. I will be sharing everything about what my company does, as well as my amazing clients, so that we can get more opportunities inside of school systems as well, who also have big budgets and they're looking for qualified vendors to be able to work with. Okay, so let's get into the topic, turning a no into a contract win. So a no could be in many different forms. It could be that you get no response from your email outreach, your LinkedIn outreach, your invitation to an event, invitation to check out something that you've posted, maybe a case study or something to that effect. Or you could get all the way down the line in the process, have presented a proposal, have shared all the amazing things that you can do with this organization, and then they decide not to move forward. Here's the thing. Oftentimes, especially if you have all of your eggs in one basket, this is one thing that I want to stop and talk about here as well. Whenever you are pitching, and I can speak to one of my clients in particular, I had to have this conversation with her because as she was getting traction, like literally getting calls booked, going from no idea, trying to get things going, and then finally getting a call booked and having a great conversation. We get excited. She got excited, as we all do, like, hey, we gonna win this, right? This is gonna be a great opportunity. And what I had to share with her along the way is never stop pursuing other opportunities, because a no can take, especially if you're not used to it, it can take a hit and it can take you out of the game. So the very first thing of how you can turn this into a win is make sure that you always have your eggs in multiple baskets. Never stop pitching for opportunities, even if you are all the way at like the invoicing stage with a particular corporate client. Never stop pitching for opportunities. Why? Because even if, say, for example, you only have the capacity to do one large contract, no problem. The thing you don't want to happen is that once that contract ends, if there's a certain time limit or whatever the case may be, you don't want to then start to have to fish all over again. You want to be able to forecast these opportunities out to say next year, not even 2025 into 2026, here are some opportunities that we're going to continue to reap and we're going to, be able to close based on the relationships that we have built. You can do the work, right? You can be putting out these efforts and build out your business to be able to support your corporate contract foundation years into the future if you just put in the work now. So don't stop. Don't stop. That's one of the things. And I think sometimes the excitement and sometimes also the dedication that it takes to put a proposal together can have us thinking we can take a seat back. There are some ways to also address that. Slow yourself down in the process. Don't go giving them the whole process, everything that they need before they've committed to moving forward is going to be key. Protecting your energy and the things that you are putting into the process in every stage is going to help. Personal story. I think I told this story before to you guys that as I transitioned to doing contracts in my own business, my background is in B2B contracting. So how I got in this space is I was doing this for a Fortune 500 company, working with several universities, government entities, all the things, working my way up the ladder. I decided to take those skill sets and not even at first in business, but over time incorporated it into my business model. And so when I was going out to get my own first contract, one of my very first conversations that I had, I actually fell into this same trap. So the veteran also has made mistakes along the way, just to keep that in your mind. But I got into a great conversation with the school. I love working with universities. It's no secret about that. And we got to the portion where she was looking for pricing, and it seemed like it was going well. Well, because of my excitement, and because, again, I'm coming from a background where when we are talking money and contracts, it's pretty much a done deal, right? So it's not really a whole lot of figuring it out, all the things. That's not the typical process I'm used to. I'm like, okay, we're ready to go. And it was an immediate no, right? Like she was like, hey, this is not inside of our budget. And that's another conversation for another live, but that was a no. Had I stopped there, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. I would not be making the moves that I'm making and being able to turn that into a win and turn that into wins for my other clients. So here's some things to keep in mind in terms of no's. So if you are getting to the space where you're pitching or you're sharing things about what you do, maybe you're sending those outreach emails and you're not getting responses or they're not interested, be inquisitive. That's the first thing. Figure out why. Never take a no to heart to where you can't be open to figuring out what is behind it. Once you kind of ask those whys and be inquisitive, you'll find some additional information to help you win the next one. So maybe they'll say, hey, if you got to the point where you were providing a proposal, they'll say, oh, the budget wasn't in line or something to that effect. Then you can go back and say, okay, how can I ask this question a little bit better? How can I tighten up my process a little bit more so that beforehand I'm not getting to this point and they're telling me that it's out of budget? Because that really should not happen. In the original discovery call, you should be able to capture that information. So be inquisitive. When there is a no, ask why. Ask who is the person that they decided to go with? What were some of the deciding factors? So that as you go into the next conversation, perhaps you can illuminate some of those things that seem to resonate really well with that previous client. Ask yourself what you could have done differently. Be inquisitive to yourself. How did I show up in this conversation? Was I a little bit too eager? Was I, missing steps in the process? Did I talk too much about myself and not enough about them? Like, start to really dissect, not to try to ayana yourself, but just really think about factually what could have been different in this process from their end and also from your end in order to help you get opportunities in the future. The next thing, a no may just be a no for right now. It's not a no forever. It doesn't mean never follow up again and never talk to me again, right? So you still have the opportunity. Circle back to those people. How are things going? One of my favorite questions is, okay, last time, we talked about this particular agreement or this particular engagement. How is it going with X, Y, and Z vendor? How is your service so far? Did you get everything that you were looking for? And it's not in a way to like, oh, let me try to get some information so that I can sell to them, but it's genuine interest. I would love to see how it's going. I got invested in the success of this as we were talking and building a relationship. So I'm just curious as to how that program went, right? That can open the door for you. You can be able to see maybe everything is going well and they can share with you some additional insights that really supported them. So now you can go back to what you offer and how you position what you offer and share some of those elements that were really transformative for that client. So that's another way. Another way that you can turn that no into a contract win is then start thinking about, okay, perhaps maybe in this particular arena, are there other clients that would be a better fit for what I offer? So then start to just analyze and look at this particular audience wasn't a good fit, or they really weren't responsive to this. Who could this be a better fit for that I need to start pitching? So a lot of this is about being resilient, first of all. It's about being creative. It's about even looking at, again, going back to the basis of why they may not have decided to move forward. Maybe it's an opportunity to be creative. One of the major things that I've shared a couple of times, I think in my lives, but definitely in my personal trainings, is that there are ways to get contracts funded for people who say they have no budget. You just need to talk to the people who do and figure out how you can structure a deal to where it's 3 wins: the person that has the budget to pay, the company or organization that you're serving, and yourself. You can only do that if you decide to get curious and not let the no stop you, and take off some of the apprehension that it may feel to go back and be like, okay, why didn't you decide to go in this way? What else could have been done differently so that I can move forward? And client example for this, we just recently got out of a negotiation process. Well, not even negotiation, a proposal process with a particular client. They decided not to move forward. Long story short, they were doing some things in the back end that they weren't really upfront with sharing. And so we weren't in the best position knowledge-wise in terms of how they were deciding to move forward. Okay, so that was a no. Within a week, this client used the same strategies that got her to this point to book another call. I think it was literally the same day. She sent out the outreach that we share in our programs, email and LinkedIn outreach, had a call booked the same week. I actually had the opportunity to join the call today. So sent the email, booked the call, had the call, all within a day, or not a day, all within a week. And now next week, she's having a conversation to go through their curriculum and start to put together a proposal for this opportunity. Now, In this example, she's taking what she learned from getting the no and hearing, all of the reasons and feedback of why they decided not to move forward with her company, not stopping, going back into the process, and now going into this conversation more confidently, taking what she learned from that experience to be able to bring this one into a win. So that's another key piece that if you didn't catch that, make sure you catch that piece too. A no is just a no with one organization. How many, for her in particular, she works with school systems, I'm sorry, with universities. How many universities are there just in this country? I have another client that's pitching universities all over the world, but how many universities are just in this country? One no does not mean anything. And so if you're ever feeling stifled or feel like you're in the start and stop process because you're either, and I count ghosting as a no too, you're not getting responses or you're getting no's, go back and retool. Go back and look at how you can approach the conversation to benefit them. Sometimes the no's are because they got to do too much thinking to figure out how you can help them, all the things, or maybe you said something that really didn't resonate with them and they got things to do, so they moved on. So it's not personal, but it is an opportunity for you to look at how much opportunity is out there. I posted earlier today with just the federal government, it's definitely at least, $9 billion, if not more, out set aside for us. So if we only focus on the no's, if we only focus on the people that are ghosting, we're missing out, literally just making a quick turn, positioning ourselves, making sure we're doing those activities every day to get ourselves out there and doing them in the right direction to being able to land some of these opportunities. And so keep that in mind. It's not about hustle and grind and just throw spaghetti at the wall trying to figure it out. It's about being very strategic but being committed and not being discouraged by no's or quiet or crickets. Like, let's be able to really dive in and focus and say, like in my masterclass over the weekend, I had everyone do commitments for what they're going to do each week in terms of corporate lead generation. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's a whole lot of upside. So if there's anything else getting in your way, telling you that you can't take 30 minutes, that you can't take 45 or whatever amount of time you have to send out some outreach emails, to look on LinkedIn to see who you can connect with, to go to some of these sites where they're posting opportunities that they just need people to respond to. If you can't make time for that, we got another problem there, because some of these opportunities could be life-changing for your business if you just prioritized it, if you just did the paperwork to even position yourself to get the opportunities. But what my inkling is that a lot of us don't know that process and don't have access to be able to do that because of the knowledge, not because of not knowing the right contacts, not knowing what to say. When I talk to people, those are all the things they tell me. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to pitch. I don't know how to put together a proposal. I don't know who to reach out to, all of those things. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good, but that's not actually your problem, because none of those things make a difference if you don't even have the foundation to be able to sell and deliver the opportunity. And so that's where we need to start. And that's where we need to begin to create that foundation for ourselves, that ongoing process, that basic level, what I now call a pitch package, in order to achieve and get some of these opportunities in the door. So a no is actually a gift, and it's an opportunity. You got a response. So I tell clients too, when you get a response, that's a win, because they could have just trashed it and moved on and said nothing. But when you get a response, you can take something from it. It's imperative to focus on the foundations, to stop trying to figure out what you need to say. There is a way to approach it in emails and outreach and all the things. But half the time, like I said, that's not most people's problem. Most people's problem is they're not prepared. Most people's problem is they don't know where to even go and find these opportunities, that literally there's someone out here with the most basic of websites, the no online presence, half as skilled, probably, not as good in terms of being able to articulate what they do, and they're landing these opportunities. because they know the secrets. So know the secrets. And remember, as buying cycles are changing with individual consumers, everybody's talking about that. Even last night and all the political things they're talking about, this is going up, that's going up. People are budgeting and all the things and they're not spending as much. That's not 100% true with organizations and corporations, as well as our governments and nonprofits. Yes, you may hear people saying budgets are lower than they were last year, but even their lower budget is still way more than what people are talking about they don't have here and there on the internet. Okay. So, this season, as I mentioned, is a good time to start getting that foundation, especially as we are going into year end. A lot of organizations have money that they have to spend. This money doesn't just go like on to the next year or they just put in their pocket or go out on a vacation or something. This is money that's literally like use it or lose it. Why would we ever allow them to lose it? We should be positioning ourselves to at least be in the room to get the opportunities. And it's not a kept secret. The information is available to you. You can get these opportunities. Know the process. Okay. And so, with that being said, take into account and think about how you can get prepared. This was about turning those into contract wins, but then it really just kind of sparked into I want you guys to know that the first step is getting prepared. The first step is even being qualified for these opportunities. And that doesn't mean like, oh, you have to have a certain dollar amount in business or, oh, you have to have this and that. Sometimes it's literally just a matter of paperwork, y'all. Paperwork. Certifications that sometimes are free, being able to send an email, like it could literally be so simple if you just follow some very basic steps. And so I'm going to tie this out. From here, your homework, because I like to be able to give some actionable things. I don't want you to just listen to this and get all blah, 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 nothing to do with it. I want you to look at your business and really see, are you prepared to do corporate contracts? If a company came from just from what you've understood thus far today, if a company came and they said, hey, we want you to be able to, like, here's this opportunity. Are you prepared to do it? Do you know how to sell to corporations? Do you know the buying process? Do you have a capability statement ready to go? Do you have your insurance policies? Okay. Hopefully I'm back. Let's see. All right, I'm back. Yep. All right. So I don't know. Something happened there. Well, actually, I do know. It died. I thought I had more time. All right. So essentially, what I was saying before I got cut off, let me turn this light back on. Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying from here is to really, again, think about what areas are you prepared? Do you have your certifications in place? Hopefully, y'all can hear me and everything because I had to take the mic out. Um, Let me know. I'm just going to keep going. What things do you have in place and where do you need to get prepared? And then, so based upon that and this overall idea of getting into contracts, so that's your homework. Okay. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you can hear me. So based upon that, that's what you're going to look at after this live. I give the training, I give you a actionable step that you can do. So look at your business, see where you're not prepared and get the holes filled in. If you're not prepared on your invoicing side or capability statement, if you don't even know what that is, do a quick Google search and get that in place. If you don't know where to go and seek opportunities that are already set aside for you, then that's the area that you need to focus on. So choose your area. And so that is the training piece. Now I want to move into making an invitation because I know that many of you are not only just wanting to get information and get enlightened, but you want to get moving. And this is a part of what we do inside of my agency. We help individuals be able to land corporate contracts in their business and get prepared. And we have some exciting ways that we get to do that. So if you are someone that's like, hey, I know I have value. I just am trying to figure out how can I translate what I have into a viable offer and how can I, again, I already mentioned this earlier that this isn't the problem, but I know this is what's going through your head is who do I target? What do I say to them? Where do I find opportunities? How can I pitch myself? How can I create a proposal? All these questions that I know you guys are thinking because I talk to you every week and every day, and this is what I'm hearing. This is the problem that we help to solve for people. We give clear roadmaps around exactly how you can translate your expertise. And so not just your programs and the outputs that you do, but your overall expertise can be leveraged inside of these organizations. And not only do we help you extract that and package that, we also help you sell it, right? So get prepared to have these things in place. As I mentioned to you, your capability statement, everything that you need to be able to position yourself as ready to go and ready to do business with corporate. That's what we do. In addition to that, we support you through some of these things that come up. So the no, having those no's and having the resilience is more of a mindset thing that we have to be able to get support on. It's not easy, right? So it's simple, but it is not easy. And sometimes it can get discouraging along the way. And what we do is create a space where we can guide clients through that and let them know how to navigate, how to continue to stay in the game, how to keep your mind on the prize and stay focused on the very specific things that we help you employ and put into place in order to land these contracts. Okay. And so, in addition to that, in that support, we want to invite you to work with us. And it's very simple for you to be able to do this, right? I'm going to put a link into the Facebook. I can't do it while I'm on StreamYard. It won't show you guys. But the link is going to be an opportunity for you to take the next step in understanding how we can support you on a deeper level. So it's kirstenjallen.com/WWK if you want to go ahead and go to it now. But I will put the link once we wrap up. Actually, I have it here on my phone because I was trying to make sure you guys can see me. So I'm going to drop it in right now for those of you who are like, hey, I want to go ahead and check this out. And you can be able to see more on how you can support, how you can get support and work with us to land these consistent contracts in your business. So you should see that link in there now. It's going to take you to a page where you'll be able to hear from me. You'll be able to apply to book for a call and see what could be a good fit and how we can support you. And we'll go into detail with you on that during the call. So you're invited to that. We would love to speak with you. I want to see more people landing these opportunities and not waiting until next year. Y'all, it's a matter of getting prepared, and you can be getting opportunities right now that are going to be expiring by next year. So it breaks my heart when I hear people saying they'll wait down the line because, oh, I'm focused on I don't know, all the things that I've heard people say that they're focused on. And I'm like, wow, you are really missing out on some major contract dollars because you're not even getting prepared to be put in the game, right? And so while running your business is definitely important, I'm not telling anybody don't like abandon your bread and butter, but this also has to be a priority too. And just as much as I'm sharing this with you guys, I'm doing the same thing every day. So I am doing this with you guys. I'm doing this live and I'm talking through the things that, I cover, but I face these things myself. We are actively going after contracts ourselves because I'm not going to miss out on these dollars. Some people, they say they can wait. They're going to fix, they're worried about their website. They're worrying about, trying to get people into their next little thing, which is great. Again, not knocking that at all. But I'm also going to make some time to go after these contract opportunities. That's just me. If anybody else is like that as well, let me know so I know that I'm not crazy. But these opportunities are prepared and we want to already set aside and we want to prepare more of our audience and more of our community to get them. And so if you're interested in getting that support, visit that link. Let's have a conversation and see how we can support you in getting set up before the year is out. Alrighty, if you have any questions about that process, feel free to shoot me a DM. Otherwise, as I mentioned, the link in there to schedule and book your call is there. And I look forward to speaking with you and seeing how we can support. Alrighty, guys. As always, I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern for our next topic. Bye.